Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving deep into the shadows of the Paris Opera House to uncover a story that has haunted audiences for over a century. We're talking about the one, the only, Phantom of the Opera. But have you ever wondered where this haunting tale of music, obsession, and tragedy actually came from? Who created this unforgettable character, and what real-life mysteries inspired this legendary curse? Get ready, because we're about to pull back the velvet curtain. The mastermind behind the Phantom was a French journalist and writer named Gaston Leroux. Born in 1868, Leroux wasn't just a novelist, he was a brilliant investigative reporter who traveled the world, covering major events. This background gave him a keen eye for detail, and a love for a good mystery which he poured into his fiction. In 1909, Leroux began publishing Le Fantôme de l'Opéra as a serialized story in a Parisian newspaper called Le Gaulois. For months, readers were captivated, eagerly awaiting each new installment to see what would happen next to the young singer Christine and her mysterious masked tutor. But here's where it gets really interesting. Leroux always insisted that his story was based on truth. He claimed that the opera ghost was a real person. So was he just a master of marketing, or was there something more to it? The setting for his novel, the Palais Garnier, was a place Leroux knew intimately. This magnificent opera house, built in the late 19th century, was a world of its own, full of opulence, secrets, and believe it or not, some very strange architectural features. One of the most fascinating facts Leroux used was the existence of a vast underground lake beneath the Palais Garnier. This sounds like pure fantasy, right? Well, it's actually true. When construction began in 1861, the architects hit a snag. The ground was swampy, with a high water table fed by a hidden branch of the Seine River. To solve the problem, they built a massive concrete cistern, a double-layered foundation to hold back the water and stabilize the building. This created an eerie man-made reservoir in the deepest cellar of the opera house. Leroux seized on this incredible detail, transforming the functional cistern into the Phantom's dark, subterranean lair where he navigates the waters on his boat. It was the perfect Gothic setting for a reclusive genius. Then there's the infamous chandelier crash. In Leroux's novel, the Phantom sends the grand chandelier plunging into the audience as a terrifying warning. This, too, has a basis in reality. In May 1896, a real accident occurred at the Palais Garnier. One of the massive counterweights for the 7-ton bronze and crystal chandelier broke free and fell through the ceiling, tragically killing a member of the audience. The event caused a panic and became front-page news. Leroux, ever the journalist, saw the dramatic potential and wove this real-life tragedy into his narrative, making it the Phantom's most dramatic act of terror. And what about the Phantom himself? Was there a real disfigured man haunting the opera house? While there's no proof of a single Eric, Leroux likely drew inspiration from several sources. He studied the archives of the opera house, and in his author's note, he speaks of a skeleton found in a hidden room in the cellar. This skeleton, he claimed, belonged to the Phantom. While the discovery of a body has never been officially confirmed, rumors and legends about people living secretly within the labyrinthine corridors of the Palais Garnier were common. The building was a city within a city, with hundreds of rooms, secret passages, and hidden nooks where someone could easily go unnoticed. Leroux may have also been inspired by real individuals known for their physical deformities who lived as outcasts during that era, much like Victor Hugo's Quasimodo. He combined these elements, the real underground lake, the tragic chandelier accident, and the persistent rumors of a hidden inhabitant, to create a character who was both terrifying and deeply sympathetic. He crafted a compelling backstory for his Phantom, Eric, a brilliant architect, musician, and inventor who was born with a facial deformity so horrifying that he was forced to hide from the world, his genius turning to bitterness and obsession. When Leroux's book was first published in 1910, it wasn't a massive success. It sold moderately well, but it wasn't the phenomenon we know today. Its journey to legendary status began a decade later, in Hollywood. In 1925, Universal Pictures released a silent film adaptation starring the incredible Lon Chaney as the Phantom. Chaney, known as the Man of a Thousand Faces, created his own gruesome makeup, and his terrifying unmasking scene is one of the most iconic moments in horror cinema history. This film brought the Phantom to a global audience and cemented his place as a classic movie monster. From there, the Phantom's legend only grew. There were more film adaptations, but the story reached its ultimate peak in 1986 with the debut of Andrew Lloyd Webber's musical. This stage production transformed the horror story into a sweeping, tragic romance. The powerful music, the lavish sets, and the focus on the love triangle between the Phantom, Christine, and Raoul resonated with millions. It became the longest-running show in Broadway history and a worldwide cultural phenomenon. It's thanks to this musical that most people today see the Phantom less as a monster and more as a tragic anti-hero, a tortured soul desperate for love and acceptance. So the Curse of the Phantom wasn't created in a single flash of inspiration. It was meticulously built, piece by piece, by a brilliant writer who blurred the lines between fact and fiction. Gaston Leroux took the real architecture of the Palais Garnier, a real-life accident, and the persistent whispers of a ghostly presence, and he wove them into an unforgettable narrative. Then, over the decades, film and stage adaptations added new layers, transforming the story for new generations. The Phantom has endured because he represents something universal: the outcast, the misunderstood genius, and the powerful, sometimes dangerous nature of love and obsession. The next time you hear that iconic organ music, you'll know that the story behind the mask is just as captivating as the legend itself. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey into the shadows. What's your favorite version of the Phantom of the Opera? Let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring the notification bell so you don't miss our next deep dive into history's greatest mysteries. Until next time, stay curious,